What's up, everybody? This is Brian Simpson. I am doing my first instructional video based on some feedback I got from a project I worked on recently. Basically, I was trying to do a fairly complicated origami rose, and got frustrated. Couldn't make things work for whatever reason, and basically came up with my own technique. So, what I'm gonna do is show you how to make an origami rose with a slightly different technique from a few other methods I saw online after doing my own research. This appears to be a fairly unique way of doing it, so I'm just going to share what I did. So basically, obviously I pulled a napkin out of a plasticware set that you can get at restaurants or whatever, but this will work with bar napkins and stuff. I've basically done the same thing a couple of times now. So after attempting to fold this complex origami paper several times, I ended up just wadding it up out of frustration because, yeah, it just wasn't working. So I ended up with, a wadded failure for all intents and purposes. And then I had a piece of paper. So what I did was, after wadding it up, I started looking at some pictures of roses online, and I started noticing, the structure of them and whatever, and I was like, how can I make this work with what I have right now, which was a wadded up piece of paper. So, square napkin, just wadded it up to give it some texture, and now what I'm going to do is make two tears in it. So about an inch from one of the edges, just tear a line, and it doesn't have to be straight, it can be completely messed up, but about 1 inch from one of the edges. And then once you get that almost all the way across, leave about an inch, stop at about an inch from the opposite edge, and then basically go down another inch, so you're slightly less than halfway down. Just tear it the opposite direction, and again, same thing, you're going to stop about an inch or so from that edge. So what you end up with is essentially a torn napkin that looks like this. And what's going to end up happening is this is going to be the bud of the flower, and this is going to become the stem. So you take the top edge, and then basically what you want to do is leave it a little bit open, about the diameter of a pen or a pencil, and make the bottom part of it tight. Doesn't have to be like too tight, but make it tighter than the top. So you're kind of like getting a cone shape, but crumpled up. And then basically roll it and kind of let it take its own shape as you're rolling it. The top isn't going to be flat, just make it kind of go in and out to give it a that natural shape. And then as you get to the end of that top row where the first tear ends, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the corner in, and I'm just going to keep rolling it around. You can even twist the paper sometimes, depending on how it goes. But really all you're doing is pinching the bottom part and letting the petals form at the top. And then all I'm doing is just keeping it letting it go on its own, and as I wind it around. And like I said, so here I'm just going to put a little twist in it, not required. Again, it's you're looking at how it's going and whatever makes it easier to make your flower. So I continue to twist it around, and this one's going to be kind of a tighter, smaller bud. And as you can see, I'm going to end up with a bunch of excess napkin down at the bottom, and I'm going to show you what to do with that, because that's going to become the stem. So now that I'm hitting basically the beginning of the second tear, I'm going to fold that under again. And then what you end up with is basically this rose at the top and this loose portion at the bottom. So then once you get to that point, you're going to very tightly twist at the bottom of the rose, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of shape it a little bit, fold it out, or if you don't like it, you can just start over. This didn't really take the shape I was hoping. So I'm going to unfold it a little bit, just get back to where I liked it, and then just make it looser actually. Take some of the twist out of it. There we go. I want the petals to be like more open, is what I'm shooting for. There we go. A little bit more open flower. There. So again, if you don't get it the first time, like, it's obviously not difficult to unroll, kind of get it to where you like it, and then continue rolling. And then so get back to about where I was. Or just stop, because that's not doing what I want. Alright, so I'm back at the original. So I'm going to start rolling again. And if you look at real roses, the middle of the bud is usually a little bit lower than the rest of the flower. So it's tight, it's lower, and then basically as the flower opens up, the buds around the middle slowly climb out a little bit, and they get wider and wider as they open up away from the middle. So that's kind of what you want to do. Keep that middle end low. Bunch it up here and there, which is probably what I wasn't doing in the beginning. And then basically roll it up a little less tight. I'll put another twist in it here as I work it around that other top edge. There we go. Start making my stem again, and And that is basically done by just tightly twisting it. And then at some point, when you've got basically the bud formed, you want to take this corner, roll it up, and kind of make that shape out of it, a cup shape out of it, and put a twist in it, and it's going to become a leaf. And once you get it twisted, and then what you want to do is put the cup on the top, put it about there, and then start twisting again below where you put the leaf. And then twist the stem all the way down to the bottom. And then what we're going to do after that is essentially just shape the flower itself and the leaf. So take the leaf, just kind of form it into, that oval shape with the point, and then butt it south. Just kind of open it up where it should be open at the bottom. And voila, we have a rose. And that's all. Hopefully she likes it. Alright, that's it.